Good morning, Quasar Markets Live. Happy Friday to everybody. I am with my main man, Stephen Big Beat. Or Steve, how we doing this Friday?
I'm good, Howard. Look, it's been a really wild roller coaster week. Yesterday was kind of slow, but here we go, going into the end of the year, and Fed governors are talking all over the place. It's Fed Speak City. We saw Austin Goolsbee this morning. Look, they're all wanting to chat before the end of the year. Probably want to know what's going on before January the 6th and January 20th. As we go into the end of the year, look, some of these numbers we saw this morning were not too bad. I'm looking at retail sales minus gas and autos only up 0.1%. So to me, it doesn't feel like that the retail sector is still happy yet, even after the election. And New York Fed manufacturing at 31.2, pretty sad. So I'm not really seeing, retail sales year to year up 2.85%. We're going into the holidays, so what? We expected doom buying and doom spending, and we're not seeing that here. So to me, quite frankly, I don't know that the electorate is still happy yet. I think they want to see something. Look, the only good place right now, and lately has been, and yours place is Bitcoin.
Yeah, can't argue there. Back above 90K, holding pretty strong here. That's sort of been the line in the sand here. We haven't spent much time actually above 90. 4 hours there on Tuesday, and then about 8 hours there yesterday. But in general, I don't think we got to establish a good day and a half over that level there to turn that into some support. Otherwise, we still have that downward side there. So, but Bitcoin holding up strong. Yeah, the Powell put, he started speaking yesterday. The market went to crap. So it was back in play for sure. Um, it is now pretty much a 50-50 crapshoot on Fed Watch as to whether or not we get a cut in December. You have a lean there at all anymore?
Well, I think I said it last year when Nicole Petalides asked me how many rate cuts this year, and I said two. I guess I'm right. Look, December's not going to happen. They're telegraphing it to you now. Trump does not want them to cut rates. He's a bank guy. He wants rates to stay high. They're trying to appease him because he got a mandate in the election, and I think that's what you're going to see. So is that finalized yet? No. I think a lot of the Fed governors are saying, "Well, we'll talk about it at the meeting." No, it's done. There's no cut. It's over. We're still seeing a little bit of inflation right now, seeping in. Not strong inflation, but enough to make them unhappy. And there's a little worry out there in the world. But the bigger problem is not here in the United States. The bigger problem is Europe and the rest of the world. So a strong dollar with the 106.60 today. Wow. And oil 68.16, still below 70 handles. So right now, the world is not as good as everybody thinks it is.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to DXY, actually set a 52-week high yesterday, a little over
Yep.
107. Going to talk at 10 o'clock with Stephen Flanagan, our FX currency expert there, a little bit more about that and get his take there. Um, and I will say, as a forerunner there, everything that he talked about on Wednesday has happened. He talked about the sterling continuing to drop. It has. He said the euro would drop. It has. He said, watch for a top on the USD Japan yen, and that is sort of reversed a little bit today. So the man does seem to be right
I
on a
think I'm
good
going to
feel of
the
the
bank
market.
today to go get yen.
Yeah,
I
I mean, he
mean,
definitely has a feel for the FX markets like nobody else. So excited to have him on at 10. Um, for me, like you said, my takeaway, when they start to do that stuff and we're taking out gas and we're taking out this and we're taking out that and doing that, I don't look at that stuff. I start to say, okay, you've lost me. Sales up 2.8%. The part that you brought up was the part that I cared most about as someone that owned, retail businesses. What am I looking at? Usually trying to get 5% a year, right? So we're trailing that 5%. That's where you're sort of trying to get there. So that was my takeaway as well. Retail sales And it's funny though, mainstream media is pushing it like it's a huge beat, and this is great. Everything I'm seeing right now, retail sales climb again ahead of holiday shopping season. U.S. economy still has momentum. It really shows in some of these times. The way that they want to slant things. I see it all the time because of how they cover Bitcoin. And their cynical approach there. But it's funny to see some of these because I think, you put that, and that's why I love having you on every morning, is you're able to break through some of that headline data and actually give us what matters, which is the nuts and bolts. This is what it's up. It's up 2.8%. There's nothing else to put in there. There's no hidden number. If you own a business, would you be happy if you're up 2.8%? Probably not, especially with
No,
rates.
because
If rates are 4.4 today, right? 4.4. For 10-year, I'm losing ground, which goes to my Bitcoin, which is even in times of the U.S. being the strongest country, probably economy right now, right? In all of the world, the way we're seeing it, euros, like we said, that's my big talk with Steve today. Is I said, yeah, it's still falling apart. The eurozone they are as anemic can get. And then you look at China, and the cracks are starting to show there. Although I will say, Alibaba, good earnings, so it does show you again picking the right stocks. It doesn't matter the sector; you pick the ones that have the momentum, that are the best of class, and they do seem to rise to the top always. Alibaba showing that today with a nice beat on their earnings and everything else. Again, a lot of that though AI based, so there. But yeah, it does look like a down day. I guess my question to you, Steve, is this the start of the bigger retracement that we've been sort of looking for, or is this a blip? And Monday we come back, everybody's happy, and they had a little eggnog or whatever you get into the Thanksgiving there. What do we get then?
The one thing I won't be doing is drinking eggnog. It's absolutely disgusting.
I'm not a fan either. I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't really understand eggnog. Listen, the truth of the matter is, Thanksgiving in the United States is a time for families to get together. And we know that in the past, when families get together, they talk about their finances, they talk about the money, and they talk about their year because their
Yep.
guard's down a little bit. They've had a little bit to drink, a lot too much tryptophan and turkey, and they begin to talk about their crypto pile or what stocks that they own, and they're going to do that again this year, obviously. And we're seeing now some of the numbers coming out that they're expecting this to be the biggest travel day for Thanksgiving ever in history.
Oh,
So the
thank
roads are
God I'm
going to
not going anywhere. I hate traveling on those days. I really do.
yeah, it's gonna be a big day. And look, I will be interested to see how the crypto market does during the Thanksgiving holiday. Will Uncle Bill and Aunt Betty, will they be buying Bitcoin based on what their nephew is saying, right? I think the answer in the past has always been yes. I mean,
Yeah,
and
well, and I think an important takeaway I have for our viewers is, we're starting to get more and more requests in at ABCA, the American Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Association.
yeah,
We're a nonprofit in DC that works on Capitol Hill and the adoption of blockchain and crypto within the government. And as Steve knows, we've been hit up by a few people for meetings to talk about what the new administration is about to do, how we can help support it, how we can be a part of it. So we do see that coming back. So I do want to stress that. Because like I said, I had a lot of people when I said that I might sell some Cardano here. I had to explain to people I own Cardano since it was 3.5 cents. So, I'm in a little bit of a different boat. And I have
even
been.
if Trump wants to put Hoskinson in the administration.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I might still take some off because I'll do the sell the news a little bit here. I have if it gets over $1, like I said for me, I'm gonna look to because part of that is like you've talked about in the past being heavier than you want to be in something. And what would happen at that point, I would be overweight because what's been nice and what I want to talk about in crypto is what's going to be coming back because of clarity here in the U.S. Staking. I've been staking my Cardano since the day they started staking. So that has multiplied at 7 or 10% even yearly for the last 5-6 years. So keep in mind that that is part, and that so that's part and parcel, because I did have some people reach out to me and say, "Hey, wait a second, you're selling. What's going on?" And I wanted to bring that up and say, "Hey, well, I might lessen my amount. It's probably just what I've earned in staking, and I'll go back to my original." Amount of Cardano. But yeah, and that's a perfect example. Charles Hawkinson tweeted last night he was on a plane to California on his private plane. Where was he going? Who was he going to see? A guy that owns a very large, or runs a very large car company, EV car company, right? He's going to meet with the Musk. He will be part of this team. I'm not a huge Charles Hawkinson fan. I do think he is extremely intelligent, but I think he also feels he's always the smartest man in the room. And he has had
Well,
some,
in some ways he is. I mean, he
yeah, but
is
he's also
smart.
had some questionable moral decisions in his life. And all I'll say is just read up on the Ethereum Foundation. There's a movie and a book written by Miss Chin, and breaks down a lot of the, he sort of installed himself as the CEO of Ethereum and was booted within about 6 months by Vitalik and the rest of the team. So, but I will tell you, he is at the forefront, and the reason that I've always been a huge proponent of Cardano, he is big on identification, using blockchain technology as a way to prove identity of both persons, credentials, like educational things, putting them on a blockchain. So again, and it's perfect for what happens. What we've seen with North Korea, right? In North Korea, they are having their people pretend to be Japanese tech people, and they get jobs on U.S. companies. Number one, it's bad because they're stealing and doing nefarious things. But number two, they're doing it because they earn a lot more as a tech worker in the U.S. than as a tech worker in North Korea. North Korea keeps most of the money. So these things would give Providence, it'd be much harder to do that. So excited to see that. Steve, what
Well,
else are you
just
watching here this morning?
well, I'm still long Boeing and I'm still long Apple here on this yesterday. I know that Mr. Buffett has sold a little bit more Apple. He's down quite a bit now in Apple. Um, Totally understandable. But I don't I think we can still continue to push here. I don't know that the selling is so strong yet. I've still, I'm not down anything in these, so I'm pro okay. Um, I'm up a little bit. I'm up about 600 in Apple. Probably not today, but I think we'll probably just start to move tomorrow. I mean, I'm sorry, Monday or Tuesday, as we get out of these doldrums of the Fridays options, as we call it, option burning day
Yep.
today. So look, I'm not too concerned about today. I'm more concerned about going into the holidays. Is the trading going to slow down? Is the volatility going to slow down? We still have next week, so we still have some time. But the following week, it will get really, really slow. We know that as travel starts to pick up, and as, like I said, Uncle Bill and Aunt Betty get together with their nephew and ask about what they're trading in GME and AMC or DJT, the memes could be discussed about it. All right. But will Uncle Bill and Aunt Betty talk about the bigger companies, right? The companies that's the long stalwarts in their play. So how do the two of them get together and actually create some semblance of a portfolio that makes sense, right?
Right.
Um, where I don't want to say the kids, but the kids buy the meme stocks and the adults buy Coca-Cola and Boeing and things of that nature. So look, there's a big change here because Uncle Bill and Aunt Betty are now retired and they're taking money off the markets. And is that money being replaced? And the answer is no. We now see the largest amount of money in money markets in history. I mean, it is
Right.
absolutely amazing how much money is in money markets right now. I think it's $7 trillion.
Yep.
Put that in perspective, the market's about 28 trillion. That is just unbelievable amount of money sitting on the sideline, and I think that's what's holding the market up. Is every little dip, a little bit of money comes in, and we know that Warren Buffett has now got the biggest cash pile in history. He
No,
has
well,
bought,
no, 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 he
still
doesn't.
does, still does.
Doesn't he still have
Domino's
the
Pizza
biggest?
was
I meant to look at that this morning.
Domino's Pizza is like taking change out of his pocket and buying a slice. He doesn't care.
And did you
It's
see he
not
also
that big.
bought Pool Inc.
He bought pool as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
small motor.
so we'll
But
definitely talk.
Domino's Pizza, he could buy Domino's. Let's just put that in perspective. Let's look at it today. Um, PZTA is the ticker there. The market cap of Domino's Pizza is $1.6 billion. All right. Um,
I think
I'm
he
gonna
bought
pull up.
500 million worth, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Out of 15
Okay,
billion, he
so
bought
to
500
put
million.
that to put that in perspective. Okay, let me say this again. Domino's Pizza, the whole company is worth 1.6 billion.
No, 15 billion.
Market cap is 1.6 billion according to
I'm looking at
PZZA.
TradingView right now,
Oh,
15.06
I'm
billion.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was looking at
You pulled
Domino's.
warrants up, I think.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Papa John's. Sorry.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, that's why I'm like, wait a
50,
second. Yeah, that makes
50,
sense. I'm like,
okay.
I'm looking at it, the reason I know this is because I just remember made all those watch lists of over $10 billion companies, and Domino's was in there.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had
Yeah. Yeah.
Papa John's up there. Okay. So let me put this in perspective. So $15 billion. He has Warren Buffett right now, just in cash, in the cash
Oh
equivalents,
yeah, it's two.
$325 billion.
Yeah.
He
Oh
could
yeah.
buy
20 of them. Well, we
21.6
saw that
Domino's.
he could buy. It was a ridiculous amount of the S&P, 500. It was like over 400 of the companies, like combined thing. It was
Okay, so
something.
let's say he buys Domino's and he buys Papa John's. He could buy them 20 times over. Buy Disney. I don't know what Disney's now worth because it's changed a little bit now
Yeah, that went
over the
up
last.
pretty. It gapped up, although it's pulling
So
back.
Disney's market cap is 100. He could literally buy Walt Disney, all of
Yeah,
it.
no, I was just joking with you there, but yeah, no, he's holding cash. We see a lot of talk about what's going on. I just keep pointing to that the world is not doing well while parts of the U.S. are. And that's not enough to buoy us forever because we need money investment from outside. That's going to start to dry up a little bit. But here's a question that I do have is there's a tremendous amount of outstanding buybacks that are supposed to be done this quarter.
Yeah.
Um, Number one, is there a good spot to go look for that information?
Yes, of course. I mean, you can just you can go Google buybacks. There's a whole list of things with buybacks. You can also look up. Let's see. You can pull it up. I'll give you the links if you'd
Because
like.
yeah, that would be great. Just because I'm doing it, stock by stock, and then doing the research that way. I didn't know if there was a way to see that because I do think that's important, right? That's a set. What they're going to buy before the end of the year. So I do think looking at maybe some stocks that are going to have big buybacks or are due for big buybacks this quarter would be something to look at, maybe. Um, you know, so I do think that was something that had me interested as sort of not contrarian, but just a view that I was as I was reading through stuff and just hearing buyback, buyback, buyback. My sort of radar went off,
And
and I said,
I
man, maybe
sent you the
that's
list there. You have
thank
the
you.
list now. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I think that's something to maybe look at. We talked about the Fed, and they're going to be talking all day today. So I will say, everybody, keep your eyes up. It's going to be a volatile day today. I do think across the markets. Um, do you think we see any short coverage today? What scares me is I haven't seen one article talk about it. So that means to me normally that's
No,
when it happens.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no, no. Look, there's a lot of people that are short the market. They're just silly at this point. I mean, I look. I'm not short the market. I
No,
don't
you're
like
not
this market.
necessarily long. You're just not sure. You're waiting.
I'm
I'm
not
with you
short.
there.
I'm
That's
waiting.
I'm
Yeah.
still long my Bitcoin. I do think we go to 100 here in the next bump up. We got to hold above 90K, like I said, but I do think we're gonna go there, and that's when I'll take skim a little off the top at that point. And again, I'm playing that through BTCL, which is the 2x
And
for Matthew
I
Tuttle.
think Boeing has been beaten up so badly that even bad days aren't even that bad days for Boeing anymore in the markets. And
I've been looking for a time for that. My only reason for not getting in is Steve's telling me that there could be a 10-15% pullback, and I think that still gives another 5% downside to even a beat up Boeing. So I'm with you. I'm with you there. Very much so. Um, without a doubt, I'm right there with you on that.
You know, the it seems that there's some reindeer games going on in the Bitcoin world right now. I mean, where it gets to about 90,400 and then drops almost immediately to 80,600. And it's done it 3 or 4 times. Like it's like almost like
Well,
algos are
we're getting
controlling.
it is algorithms. I mean, quant trading's everywhere, and I mean that's how FTX made the billions to lose the billions. Is they made it in the right way at the beginning because they came from Jane Street and Jump, and they had quant backgrounds, and they were doing that to do it. So you definitely do see that in the crypto space, but still, man, it's the ETFs. Just every day, I expect to see these huge outflows, and they're not coming. The other thing that's amazing there is, do you know that right now, when it comes to IBIT, its institutional holdings are only like 20%. When it
Yeah.
comes to an ETF, that's nothing. They're usually in the 70s to 90% owned by that. So this is retail. So I want to keep that in mind. This isn't even the institutional money. They're still trying to gauge what's going on. And if I had to guess, they feel there's going to be a blow off top at 100, and they'll wait for that, pull
But
back
I
from
don't know,
that
I don't know
spot.
why they're waiting on it because there's nothing there. The exchanges aren't getting lots of
Yeah, I'm not saying they're making the right decision, but I've seen, we're already starting to see what tends to be the self-predicting future for Bitcoin is, these certain analysts that are calling for certain areas, and they control enough of the market to make that happen. So we will see there. Healthcare, man. How would you be playing that? I mean, I know we got a lot of viewers that are in healthcare plays. Whew. RFK Jr.
Well, a man who doesn't believe in vaccines
Yeah.
is definitely bumping up against history because Jonas Salk is probably rolling over in his grave today. The guy that invented the polio vaccine.
Yep.
This country was doomed. This country was going to be gone with polio. In fact, when I tell people that, oh no no no, we're the United States of America. We had a president that had polio in a
Polio.
wheelchair.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's the president of the United States, protected, and he had polio as a child, right? So, look, let's be real honest here. Vaccines are a part of the country. We are not taking vaccines where microchips are going into us. People need to stop that nonsense. Look, vaccines are what make us stronger.
Yeah.
And we were given the ability, smart people on this planet, to be able to create those vaccines and understand how vaccines. I mean, if it wasn't for several inventions, penicillin. I mean, my God,
Well, yeah. I
penicillin.
mean, it's just yeah. I mean,
Military.
it's as you know, I like RFK. You do too, I believe. We both talked about supporting him when he was in the
I
case
did. I
in the run.
financially gave
Yeah.
him money.
So so I do want to say that I don't think he could have ended up in a worse spot from this. I was hoping that he would be more. Quite honestly, I was hoping he'd be more on the FDA side because I do think we have a
You
food
don't
problem
you
here.
don't put the wolf in the hen house. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just
I just, I do think we have a food problem in that, big food, Conagra, Mondelez have got way too big of a hold, and we have too many preservatives and too much, we've gone over that edge of what was needed to make things stay fresh longer to where they're not, you can leave a McDonald's hamburger on your desk
and I
like
was
that guy
reading
does.
I was reading yesterday that 75% of grocery stores now sit on ultra processed foods.
Yeah.
And the organic area is very small, expensive. I was reading why is Prairie Farms milk more expensive than Costco milk or Sam's Club milk? It's where it comes from, right?
Yeah.
Is it a big farm or is it a wholesale farm? Meaning
And I can
a
tell you
farmer
that difference.
farm,
I live in that part of the country, and
right?
and all I can tell you is I'm not going to stand on a stump here, but I buy 90% of my stuff locally, directly from farms, directly from the farmers, directly from the ranchers for a reason. When you see the difference in what it It tastes like, looks like, feels like.
Hey, there
Um,
is nothing better than Prairie Farms ice cream. I grew up on gallon
yeah.
buckets of Prairie Farm ice cream in my family.
That's
So,
my local IGA. That's their milk brand,
yep.
and that for me that's too big. I go to the literally to the dairy farm down the street. But you see it when I say that in the size. I mean, you'll see things that are an acre or 2 acres in size, and that's the local guy that's selling himself or selling to local restaurants, stuff like that. And then you see a 300 to 1,000 acre facilities that they have a barn that's like looks bigger than Madison Square Garden. um,
Yeah.
and that's the difference in that world. So we'll see there.
That's a lot of feces. It is what
Well,
it
that
is.
part is funny. I don't. My wife can tell you from 100 miles away when we're getting close to something. That's how they fertilize, baby. That's okay. That stuff gets reused. They are good. Farmers are amazing. They reuse everything. They
Very efficient.
are
Yeah.
very, very good at it. Steve, what anything you're looking at today? Anything that's sort of starting down in the pre-market that you're looking at, or are you still, for
One of
me,
the things that I'm very interested in is, and we're hearing this from the Trump administration now, and that they're going to cut out the $7,500 tax credit on
did
EVs.
see that. Yeah.
Um, that's interesting. You know, that's going to hurt a lot of small car companies, and it's going to help one big car company in the EV space, Tesla, right? So, um,
Why would it help
yeah,
Tesla?
well, because I think people would say, oh, well, if I get my $7,500, I might go buy a Rivian, right?
Oh, because it's more
Um,
money, a little more. Okay, that makes sense to me.
yeah,
I was.
it's
You lost me for a
a little
second
cheaper
there.
to buy the Rivian than it is to buy the
Yeah.
Cybertruck
Okay.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
but I honestly, that's a good tax break because it's less strain on our environment, less strain on our well, gasoline, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of giving a carrot to people to be early adopters, maybe of technology or whatever it might be. So I am a fan there. I
just
did see.
how bad is Pfizer going to be today with
Yeah.
the vaccines now down to the
Well, that's, we
1.5%.
started to talk that we got a little off topic there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can even look at healthcare sector right now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I just unless you're shorting it.
Let's go to politics a little bit. That's a good question, right? Um, this president-elect, shall we say, and for those of you who know, I've been in these transition times. I understand how it works, GSA, how they come in, how they make their bids and inaugurations and things of that nature. Usually over on K Street, right? And so let us talk about that. Some of these picks for secretaries are a little bit suspect. I think we'll
Oh
say it
yeah,
that way. Um, and here's what's interesting. Um, they Many people thought that Rick Scott was going to be Senate Majority Leader, and he did not become Senate Majority Leader. He got beat pretty badly, actually. John Thune, a longtime member of the Senate, as we all know, Mitch McConnell stepped down. He's going to stay in for a little bit, but then after that, fast forward. He's already said Matt Gaetz is out. No way. They can't afford more than one or two votes against them, and you have Lisa Murkowski from Alaska. You've got Susan Collins and from Maine. So I don't think that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will get the votes that he needs in order to be seated as Secretary of HHS or of anything of any department. It'll probably be an appointment, and what we call a Schedule C in the government. He'll probably get a Sched C, and that's about the extent of it. And it might be in the FDA, and it might be, but he will not get appointed Secretary of
you don't think
anything.
he's going to try to do this where he has them take vacation? He's got. Do you think he's got enough people to do that where he can point them without having them
You mean
confirmed?
recess appointments?
Yeah.
No, 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 no way. Because the Democrats are still in control, right? Even recess appointments will be. I mean, all they got to do, the Senate's got to say, "Oh, yeah, no, this is silly." I mean, Matt Gaetz can't even pass a background check, right? So that's not. He's out. We already know he's out. Some of these. a Fox News contributor is going to be the head of the Pentagon. No, he's already out. We've already seen the background. So when I look at some of these things and I'm looking to invest in, I gotta make sure. Okay, is this really person going to really be there? No. Now, when he says I'm going to appoint Jay Clayton the head of the SEC, heck yes, very good
No,
appointment,
not
smart guy.
SEC. He's
I thought it was SEC.
no. He did that already for him. It is shoot.
Let's look at that. Let's make sure we're right. We're right on that. But oh, you said okay, U.S. attorney for
Yeah,
okay,
for what
okay,
Letitia
okay,
James's
okay,
spot.
okay.
Letitia
He might as well
James.
be the SEC chair because he's going to be the head of the Southern District of Manhattan, which
Right.
is
They're
where
the
all
ones
the
that sue
financial
all the
crime.
financial crime
Right.
they're
It's all
basically the
financial
one that
crime.
does all of Wall Street. Anything that happens
Correct.
on Wall Street goes through that office. I just knew it was something different because we
That's Wall
haven't heard
Street.
SEC yet. We still don't know who SEC is going to
Hey,
be.
we are now open here, and a little bit of selling in Bitcoin, but not enough there. Looking at Pfizer now down almost 2% here. Boeing now. Boeing is actually flat. I thought that might be a little selling there.
Well,
So
I don't know if you saw George Soros's fund also announced there was some, filings that came out that just came out. They bought into Boeing, so that might be giving that a pump. I did see that across mainstream media there. Did see also your boy Stanley Druckenmiller bought a bunch of the regional banks through the Elite Regional Bank
makes
ETF.
makes sense. I mean, with rates going up and
Yeah, and he
that
did that. They're up. It's already up 12% on their position there.
yeah, I'm not down that much. Yeah, this is good stuff here this morning.
Bitcoin 89,325. I will say that 86K is about that spot where Bitcoin, what it was the resistance in between 85 and 86. It looks like be support. We've hit it 3 or 4 times since Tuesday, so we'll see if that holds up here today.
I'm buying a little bit more Apple down here. I think that yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah. Ooh, I need to hurry up here. Bought a little more Apple here.
I will say Mike Cardano up 15% today at 66.
Yeah,
So
I
still
said
a
that
little
this morning,
way.
and I
The other
look
one,
at
XRP.
Ripple.
So,
Yeah,
should talk about that. So now Trump has come out and said that the the non-taxable events in crypto would involve U.S. based cryptos. So
there you go.
Cardano is headquartered in Wyoming. XRP is a U.S. company, so they're the
Yeah,
ones that are moving up XRP here at 87 cents.
and I
Again, that's
love
another
that.
one I'm really heavy in that I could look here if it breaks $1 to do something with. But yeah, so that's there. And the idea there behind that was that he also would make a condition that other companies that wanted to come reset in the U.S. would have a way to do so.
Yeah,
Because a lot of companies left the U.S., a lot of them on purpose because of bad regulations. The Ethereum is one I think of that is out of Zurich. They had to do it because that was the only country that had any regulations at that point. So they tried to
yeah.
do something where it was regulated already. But those are the ones up. Kind of surprised Matic should be in that group. It isn't today. That's going up on that news. It's really XRP. I don't have a H bar as one of the ones that I look at, but if I had to guess, I saw that mentioned a lot in the crypto world. No, only up about 8%. So yeah, H bar is another one there. That's a U.S. based company. What are some other ones there? Tezos is out of Texas. That would be another U.S. based company to keep an eye on. Tezos, if you look in there.
Still more slippage there in Bitcoin a little bit.
I will tell you, Steve, I am very interested in Mara here if it retraces back to this 2015 area. Love to get it at the 200 SMA. After digesting their annual report, they are holding a lot of Bitcoin. They are not only not selling Bitcoin, they are actually buying Bitcoin with the profitability from their other businesses in the data center area. So they are actually going to be adding Bitcoin to their treasury instead of removing it. So I become very bullish on Mara. We know how that's worked for MicroStrategy. Same thing, Fred Thiel is talking about raising money to just buy Bitcoin for the treasury. So I'm very interested long term on Mara today. Should mention I'm going to be on Scott Bauer's show at 1 o'clock today. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, Mara, BTCL, and a couple other things I'm looking at here. Um, but yeah, so that is one I'm really keeping an eye on here. Also keeping an eye on BITF. Didn't have the greatest of earnings, but I like what they're doing in the space. They're a smaller market cap miner. They're only about, what is it? Yeah, not even $1 billion market cap. But they were able to go in and buy a lot of equipment from the distressed miners. That's how they sort of got their start. So they're working off of a good price point, in my opinion. And their earnings, they still were negative, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, negative about 8 cents on their EPS, doing about 44 million a quarter in revenue. So, moving in the right way when you're only worth $1 billion and you're doing 44, million in sales. So I actually like them. Those are a couple of things to keep an eye on there. Let's see if we've got any runners coming here, Steve.
I am buying a little bit more Boeing down here. I think I do like this. We might go positive on Boeing here today. Yeah, 137.81 now, 137.82. We're pushing 88 now. 94. Yep, I had a feeling we might. There we go. It's 138 now on Boeing. We might actually go positive here. I think I said that. Just said it.
Steve, did you? I don't know if you saw. Also, a lot was being talked about cryptoverse because of IBIT and the ETFs. Now the most successful ETF launch ever. Just amazing. I mean, the most successful ETF ever.
I mean, it's the world that we live in right now, and it's exciting. And wow, the dumping there in Bitcoin was a little high. I think that ETF dumping. I can't tell.
No, because that happens at night. We're finding out more. So that's your retail getting in and out in the morning.
Are they nervous there, Howard?
Like I said, I think you're going to see some selling. You're going to see it. It's tough at 90. People just, they're like, let me peel off a little bit. You were nervous the other day. I saw,
Yeah,
and people
and I was
like
right.
yourself
At
is
93,000, I was right. I got too nervous.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
and I did so.
So that's what you'll have. Um, the ETFs did have outflows for the
Tick
first
down
time.
500 here. We're really struggling here in the markets a little bit.
You got to keep in mind, $3 billion had come in on the ETFs this week. We did see about 400 million leave yesterday.
Nasdaq down about 265. It's really struggling today.
Yeah, so far. Ticked down about 500. VIX at 1489. We expected that to come down after the election. It has.
Well, the Dixie 106.85 right now, so it's creating a lot of pressure on everything. We're going to get the dollar so high that nobody's going to want to come here. I mean, we got to stop. We got to slow down the Dixie.
I don't know
Here
what's
we go
going on
again.
here.
Boeing.
ASST is up 24.69% here running.
Hey, Lunar's up another 4% today. So I mean, it's a space is going to be hot. I still think that. Come on, Boeing. 137.96 again. Come on, get up there. Get those highs. Hit those highs today. Tick pushing up a little bit here. 138 on Boeing. 138.08. We're now positive on Boeing on the day.
There
I had
you
a
go.
feeling
You
that.
called that out.
Yeah.
DJT up about 1.7%. Man, that thing's back down at $27.
Ooh, there we go, Mr. Boeing. A lot of buyers in Boeing right now.
Steve Mealy back down below 1900 here, 1880.
Maybe some money coming out of the crypto coming back into stocks, huh?
MSTR though still rocking up at 1.63% here, 333. That's one that so we talk about short covering. Saw a lot of talk about that. This is GME was a 2x short to long ratio, I guess, and this is over 1 now. So a lot of talk again in stock twits I saw on the Quasar platform and stuff about we could see a squeeze back above 350 to 375 here on MicroStrategy today. So one to definitely keep on the watch list. They're not seeing any of that yet. It's had explosive growth, as we know, but one to keep an eye on. Again, one that you could,
Going on the highs of the day now. There it
if you,
is, the high of the day.
nice.
Woo-hoo! Nice little pickup down there.
Banks continuing to get a little bit of a raise here, as we know. We've talked about the reasons there, but JP Morgan up about 0.8%. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, Schwab, all up. Citigroup, all up today. Do have some losers. Goldman Sachs down a little bit here.
Another high today on Boeing here, pushing a little bit more.
Chip sector continuing to get beat up here, Steve. See ASML down about 2.6, AMD down 2.21. AMAT down 8% on their earnings. They had been up originally after their earnings when I
Yeah,
watched first thing this morning.
their
Man,
earnings weren't wonderful. Yeah.
better
I
than
didn't like
expected
the
results.
comments from their CEO so much. They had him on CNBC, and I just he didn't have quite a full grasp
I'll
of
tell you what, though,
the
this is
future.
one that looks like it's trying to reverse here on the short-term chart. This is one for a little scalp here. Might be a nice little
Tick is
play.
about to go positive here on the day.
I'll tell you
That would
what,
be nice.
this, I think on a break of 172.29 here, you could look to see a continuation undercut and rally here on AMAT Applied Materials. This is after earnings.
Another
They did
push
have an
on
earnings
Boeing.
beat. They're definitely trying here. I'm going to throw that one out here. Put that line in there. That
Another push to the
172.
highs there on Boeing.
We get through that 172.29.
There it is. Another
I
high
think
on
that's a
Boeing.
move.
Daily high.
Nice.
Tick now positive 92 now. So there you go.
E-commerce
Bitcoin getting a
getting
little
hit
bit
pretty hard today. Amazon down almost 3%. Baba down 2.52. Another one,
pulled
Baba
out.
had been up based on their good earnings and their AI forecast, but just continuing now to get a hit. You can see it here. It shot up as high as 95.61, now back to 88.19 here. Looks like it wants to fill the gap
Tick
down this
pushing here.
85.67. That's another one. This hits 85.67. Might be interesting. I'm going to set a little alert here
There you
for
go.
that.
Bitcoin right above 89,000 once again. Here reports that Russia has gathered around 50,000 soldiers near Kursk, including North Koreans.
Wow.
They're
Okay.
getting bolder.
Yes, they are. I think they're trying to feel their way out.
I
So I'll
heard
put an
that
alert here in for Baba here. I would be interested in maybe picking some of that up on a bounce towards that 200-day MA.
Vladimir Putin gathered up all of the fake tanks for movies and put them on the border.
Hey, that worked in World War II, right? That's how we deceived them before D-Day.
Walt Disney's back up again today.
Nice.
Disney up 2.74% on the day. Don't The Mouse House is well and good right now.
Hotels dropping. Mag 7, only
And
Tesla up
tick
today.
down 400. So there's just a lot of nervousness right now in the market here.
Healthcare sector does have some green players in here. UNH is up a quarter of a point today. Merck up a little bit. I don't know who CAH is. Cardinal
We are
Health up a little
expecting
bit.
business inventories the top of the hour here, expecting 0.2%. So let's just see what they're doing. Are these businesses are they selling or not? We'll know because the inventories are what's the number to tell us. So yeah.
Yep. Trying to see what other anything else catching my eye here.
Yeah, Apple's still selling here a little bit.
Apple, I'd be more interested in that 220 area.
I'm not scared.
Nope. Boeing now up almost a 0.5% here, 138.72. Looks like it wants to challenge that 139 handle.
If it does it, then we'll go right on up, I think. Tick pushing back up again here. Bitcoin 89.2 now, so trying to go back up to 90,000.
And again, very bullish that that is doing that after 400 million in outflows that are starting to hit the systems. So Coinbase up a little bit here. That didn't make the full retracement I was looking for there. Never filled the gap. Down to that 271 area. I thought I'd get down even down 260 there before. Still on track there. It's got its support. You can see right here. It's going through.
I did find it interesting that Berkshire Hathaway is selling about 97% of their stake of Ulta shares. They just don't think beauty products are going to do well in the future.
I
I
think
just,
it was that one where he just got it wrong, maybe because he went pretty big and that hasn't done well. That's got to be a loss for them.
right.
You know what I mean? Is that
It
one
is.
has just gone
Yes.
the other way? Yeah, I don't know that industry, so I stay away from stuff I don't know. Mara up about a 0.5 point. Haley was hoping that was going to pull back. MSTR, like I said, 335 now, almost up 2% here. We could see a squeeze there. I am definitely ready to pull a trigger on MSTU if I see that running. MSTU here. We can break through this VWAP here. I'd be interested. 131.48. It's trying. 131.50. It's trying. I do think you could see a run there.
We're pushing a little bit in the Dixie again now, 106.77 here. Also gold 25.71.65. So it's trying again. Really struggling though. It's really, oh, there we go. 89.4 now on Bitcoin.
So gold back below the 2600 handle. That handle was really hard for it to beat for a while. You can see
Indeed.
it struggled back here throughout August and September. That's interesting. Falls back below that. You've got some pretty big downside on gold back towards that 2400 handle. Does look like it's bouncing right at support though. 2531 would be a good entry. WTI 68. I am sticking with you, or if it gets back at 65, that's when I'll look to get into UCO. We'll say, looking at Spider's sector ETFs, it looks like there's 12 of them and only 4 in the green here today. You've got the financial sector, industrial sector, utilities, and energy. Main losses are in technology, and we've seen that across the chips. And then on the
There
other
we go.
side,
Little pop there in
healthcare.
Bitcoin, 89.7 again. Get it back over 90,000 there. There we go. 89.8.
There we
We're
go.
moving.
QQQ's trying to find a bottom here right around 502 area here. Let's see if it can get and hold.
89.8 now on Bitcoin. I think that's very cool about NVIDIA here with X and AI there. Musk raising $6 billion to buy, what, 100,000 NVIDIA chips? I mean, he really is interested in that, right? I mean, he really wants to
Yeah.
build a big data center in Memphis, Tennessee, I might add.
Yeah, it's an interesting area. I was trying to find, I had a play here for people that I was looking at. TSS. I'm just going to pull it up. TSS. This is a play, Dell has made that huge move. Oh, this is not the right one. I forgot they have it's a European company with the same one. You got to come down here. Just got listed on NASDAQ. This was a penny stock that just got listed, and they provide the a lot of the infrastructure for data centers that use Dell components. They're located in the same city, same town that Dell is. So when people go to Dell to go buy, when I say people, I mean huge purchasers, for the government, for large corporations, they go to Dell, they go to the headquarters, they get wined and dined, they look at the equipment, they take them right to this TSIS company, which is TSSI is their actual name. They are, or their symbol, TSSI, excuse me. They they build up those components. They just had decent earnings. It's a little bit skewed to the fact that it's a lot of Dell's business, but this is a play on Dell here, and it dropped about 33% yesterday after earnings because they didn't have some kind of huge announcement. But one that I'm definitely keeping an eye on here, if it can get a bottom, this could be an interesting one to keep an eye on. New listing on NASDAQ. I'll do a little bit more research on it, but TSS Inc. is one that I am definitely interested in. And again, only $180 million market cap right now. Save down another 8% here, Steve. $1.22.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, I mean, the administration ruined them. It's a sad, sad day for them. I'm really upset with this administration over this, and there's
Yeah,
really no reason. There was no reason for it. Well, now we know because the administration's out. So
we are seeing Berkshire up almost a point here after their announcements yesterday from there. CME, JP Morgan now up over 1% here today. Financials definitely leading the way here today. Cardano right at that 67 handle. Dogecoin still going up another 1% here today. Same thing. SHIB up another 2% here today.
there you go, Boeing over the 139 handle there.
MSTR now over 337, up almost 3% on the day. I do think it does look like that one is going to get a little bit of a squeeze here.
I had a feeling that Boeing was just that the bottom is being picked up. It's pretty much, I mean, 52-week range is 137, so you're literally buying at $2 off the bottom here. Bottom was yesterday or a couple days ago when I started picking it up. I had a feeling that was pretty much the end of the selling here. I like Boeing here. Look, Boeing has a huge back order of about 5 years.
Right.
They're cutting some of the fat. They raised some of the rates or prices of labor. They want the labor strike. Okay, they'll get lean and mean again, and I like that. They got problems, no doubt about Boeing, but you're buying a long-term company, getting a pretty good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, my only reason for holding off was, the fact that we thought stuff could go down. Did you see that Tim Cook came out that he owns a bunch of crypto there, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Mahatma Gandhi says at first they ridicule you, then they make fun. It's the end of it. They just end up joining you and saying they did it. They were there from the very get go. Look, Tim Cook's getting old and he's missing the marks on Apple stuff. It's time for him to go.
You've been saying that, but you bought some Apple stock and you bought
I
some
did.
you bought your
I've got
first
Apple.
Apple product in years. So,
Correct. Yes. Yep. And you know what? It doesn't mean that it's because of him, right?
right.
The stewardship of the company is a little wonky right now. So I'm not the biggest fan. I like him as a person. I think he's probably a good person. I just think he's just not quite got the thumb on the pulse of the world right now. And I'm sure he's not going to be a very popular person in this administration. So there could be some issues here too there.
Yeah, I don't
And
doubt that. SATS here is continuing to move up. EchoStar satellites up about 4.82% here this morning. It
Boeing
had been
once
dropping pretty
again.
steadily.
Come on, Boeing. Break that high again.
Shopify
139.
pulling back a little bit here. I wonder if this one
Yeah,
starts to
Shopify
try
had
to.
a nice little run on that, and I probably going to see some profit taking there for sure.
I wonder there. There's a
Wow,
pretty
Boeing
big
really
gap
is
fill
pushing
here on
highs
Shopify
again
to the
of the day.
downside.
That's been a nice winner today, as it was down earlier, now up on the highs of the day. So wow.
Hut mining continues to
Someone's
rise up
buying
here, up
Boeing today
342.
for sure, because you're seeing the Dow down 175 points, Nasdaq down about 260 now. Wow, someone is buying Boeing down here.
Steve, your Mickey's running here,
Wouldn't be shocked if it was Warren
112.71.
himself.
Mickey making a run back up towards 115 here, it looks like.
And Bitcoin dropping again now after it's running that linear regression areas. And if you pull up the daily chart, I mean, I'm sorry, the 1 hour chart on Bitcoin, it's literally right in those numbers in the linear regression. So it seems to me that algos are really, really watching here. Tick is all over the map today. 5 minutes to the
Yeah,
top of the hour.
yeah, the tick is just everywhere. Nothing. VIX now down 1472 here, 1472. Bank of America.
Seeing the advanced decline line now breaking negative here, -40 now. So it's should be a fairly flat day, and yet we're not seeing that. We're seeing stock picking today.
Yeah, huge move up here in the last hour by
106.89 now on the
Couchbase.
Dixie. Look at that.
Couchbase with a big move up here.
I think I'm going to go to the bank this afternoon and start buying some yen and some Swiss francs.
There you go. So what Couchbase interesting here for maybe a short off of this resistance. We get a double top. Good old Best Buy up almost a point here today. They have earnings next week, I believe, right? The 26th.
All right, a little bit of buy, selling there in the bit Boeing now 139.30 off the highs there.
Yeah, tick still fairly negative here, 363.
DJT up about 4.2% there. Melly back to about $1,876 a share.
Yeah, I was saying that earlier. Millie might get back down an interesting spot for us again.
WTI 68.19 now, so we're starting to see a little bit of buyers back in oil here. It is going to be a cold winter. Let's look at nat gas here this morning. UNG.
Sure.
Looking at UNG right now, 13.14, very low there. A 52-week range there is 12.35 on the low side, so we're getting very close to the bottoms there in UNG.
Yeah, looks like
You look deep
1270.
in thought, Howard. You all right?
Yeah, 12. I'm just trying to figure out where I'd want to buy that. I
You're on
told you
mute.
natural gas is one. That 1275 area looks like the spot.
You're on mute.
I'm on mute? No, I'm not. Might be muted to you, but I'm definitely on for everybody else.
There you go. Lunar, LUNR, now 14% there on the big pop there.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it.
Lunar and SATS both moving up today a little bit.
There it is. Boeing
Ripple
once
just got
again.
above 90 there, Steve. Ripple above 90 cents here.
Wow. I know some people that are very happy this morning.
Yeah, I loaded up on that when the SEC filed their suit and it dropped back down under 50 cents.
Well, there'll be no more suit now.
Disney trying to get to 113 here, Steve. You think it's headed back to 115 here in this run up?
I told you where are we going to? We're going to 120.
150, you said.
Yeah, 150 eventually, but 120 for sure now. Quickly.
Backed Holdings, another one that I'm looking to do a longer term play on here.
And we're back below 89,000 once again on Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's just selling at that level. OKLO, the nuclear play that had really mooned up tremendously over the last couple of months, really dropping back down here. It's made it looks like pretty much a measured half move back already. Trying to bounce from that level. We'll see what happens. This is an interesting one. Kava giving back a little bit of those gains there that we saw after their earnings. Actually gave them all back. So that's an interesting one here. That's a perfect example of the mentality. Kava made that big run up off of earnings. It's now going to give it back. If we said to someone, this is probably a good time to buy, you got the 50-day MA right below it, this nice support, 131.86. It's not sexy because earnings were already done.
Seeing a nice little pop in the VIX here, so it could be some sellers here. Yeah, we're seeing it now.
Tick down over 500. VIX moving up almost 5% here today. Gold getting up a little bit, trying to get back above that 2,600, 2,571. Bitcoin back back below 89, was above it again here a second ago. That seems to be the battle today, right around that 89,250 level.
Disney up 3.6% today.
Yeah. Microsoft down another 1.84% here. Rejected firmly from that 200-day
Ripple is now
MA.
up 16% here. It's still around the 90-cent level there.
Yeah.
Bitcoin top in here, 88.8 now. We're seeing the advanced decline line picking up now, down 413 now. So it's really, really strong selling here.
Nvidia looks like it wants to retrace to this 140 level. Come back and fill that gap. Be another one at that 140, be interesting. So it's definitely starting to see these pullbacks.
Yeah, I mean, with Fed Chair Jerome Powell saying the central bank's in no rush to reach the neutral rate. I mean, you know, I don't even think Powell knows what he's talking about right now. I think he's
I
so
just,
he's
yeah.
so nervous about his job, and the man doesn't even wear a red or blue tie. He wears a purple tie every single time.
I
I don't
saw
even
that
think he
purple
has a
tie. I
red.
thought he looked like he was going to his semi-formal dance in high school.
I mean, I thought it was a Sadie Hawkins dance, man, waiting for the girl to pick him up. It wasn't going to happen yesterday. He's nervous, right? And uh, you know, when you're the most unpopular man at the ball, things are happening, right? So, when you expect a rate cut, and you're starting to see, now we're seeing even more selling now in the S&P here.
Man, I see something
Uh,
here, Steve. Moderna's stock is now back to its April 2020 levels, down 73% since the emergency
wow.
approval of the COVID-19 vaccine. That is
Well, if you
mRNA
got
down.
Robert Kennedy Jr. telling everybody you don't need a vaccine, he can probably
Yeah.
stick it up butt for all I care. I think that's wrong. I think this country is good because of the vaccines. We stay healthy, but whatever. Nasdaq now on the lows today, down 277 points here.
I do see our man, Mr. Currency, is in the room.
Ah,
I'm going to get him ready to come in
I've got
here,
to run.
Stephen
So
Flanagan. So we're going to
before
bring
I
him
do,
in.
Steve, do I need to start? Is he in yet?
He's in. There you go.
Steve, I got to ask you, do I need to run to the bank today and go get my yen and francs today, man?
Steve, good morning, you guys, and love your show today. And in so many respects, we're on the abyss, Steve, and that is, if this dollar keeps going, you're at levels now where you're looking. If you break this thing, it could really begin to surge beyond a lot of
Whew.
expected levels. Much like the Bitcoin move, everybody's gonna have to run to catch
Okay.
up to
To
that.
Then I'm
cover.
going to run to catch the bank this afternoon so I can go get those francs and yen. All right, Steve, I'll see you later, my man.
Have a great weekend.
Mr. Currency 107. We broke that handle 52-week high. You said it was coming, but I don't think you were telling me it was going to come that fast there, buddy.
I wasn't as confident at these levels because, it's like me asking you on Bitcoin at,
Yeah.
94,000. Oh, are we going to 100? And, it's similar. How much
Yeah.
higher will the dollar index go? Well, you're at a point here where if we break much beyond our present level, um, I mean, I have a level right now of 107.38. That's the target. But
Right.
you get beyond that and you're looking at 108, and 108 is, the tectonic is the ice breaking because that could punch you all the way up to your
Wow.
you could see as high as one. Yeah, I mean, 114.78 is the ultimate high. I do not think we're going there. I can't see it. But this market is kind of like, you know, moving itself here. The higher it goes, the more people have to get in it and for hedging purposes.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how they just keep running, like you said. I mean, look at that chart. That does look like a Bitcoin chart. And it looks
yeah.
like it wants
You
to
know,
reverse and run up here
we're
again. It looks like another undercut and rally here if I'm looking at that chart here. So
another leg to.
Powell put in the Powell puts on us yesterday. He came in, talked to the market, made it immediately drop down to its knees. What do you think happens here as the Fed goes into December? Steve's leaning towards now no cut, although I will say my boss there is about as wishy-washy on a seesaw that I've ever seen. All it takes is one data point and he'd jump and ship. So what are you seeing here?
You know, I'm gonna.
Uh-oh, you've got you frozen up there, Steve. Try to reset here. It looks like I've lost Steven. Uh-oh, I have lost Steven here. We'll see if he comes back in.
For a little bit from seeing this because global in a hurry to lower rates.
Okay, I do see Steven back in here. Let me refresh here on my side. Steven, can you hear me?
Yes, I.
Think you're in here twice. Let me mute you on one of them. There we go. Steven, can you hear me? I can't hear you though. Hold on one second. Try again.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry about that. Seems a little technical difficulty. Remind me, you and I got to do this outside of our working hours and get it figured out because it's definitely a little misconnection between one of us here.
Okay.
Uh-oh, I think I'm losing you again, Steven.
Yeah, I'm feedback.
I think I got to try to. How do I get you out of this one that's not there? Hold it one second here. Because I do see you in here twice. Hang up. I'm going to hang up on you here. Okay, now we might be okay. Let's see if I refresh. I apologize for this, everyone. I'm going to put up a blank screen here for one second.